Hello and welcome back, everyone. Happy barely Wednesday, but still definitely Wednesday, but probably not Wednesday for you. Today we're going to be diving into the big top game, Project Teaser, because we haven't known the name of it. It's codenamed Project Caesar, but it's really Europa Universalis 5. We're going to be talking about exploration today, and it's a short little one, so let's jump right in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tinto Talks. Thank you. This is one of those happy Wednesdays. Indeed it is, when we are about the top secret big game big nice with the codename of Project Teaser so that we can listen to your feedback. That does sound like a good time. This week we are going to take a look at how exploration will work in Project Caesar. In previous grand strategy games we've done, exploration has primarily been done by units, giving them manual orders to move, or sometimes automated orders to explore places on the map to reveal. We have a new system that works separately to go away from this and separate military from exploration. Sounds fantastic because those are two different things and they should be separate. Exploration in this game works entirely on areas. And for those of you who don't remember one of our earliest Tinto talks, an area consists of a group of provinces and a province contains a group of locations, and so it is a rather large sort of zone. So it should be about 25 to 75 locations in an area. Exploration exists in the geopolitics tab, along with colonialization, maritime, and privateering. So that is pretty cool that we are getting that in the geopolitics tab. Is this in the same tab with those? Okay, so we see exploration colonies, there's the maritime one, and privateering, I don't see that here, but we'll take his word for it. So we see naval range is kind of an interesting one. We see this known world, and the UX is probably going to be updated, but we are seeing a bunch of different information here. Colonial migration, cost of colonies, colonial charters, exploration costs, exploration progress, exploration failure. We see exploring in the seas, and we see Azores, Western Sahara, Northwestern Africa, North Atlantic coast, and a given amount of months that amounts to, several years here, and some gold costs here. So we're seeing kind of what the interface is going to look like and what the investment is going to be. You need a proper helmet to be a good explorer, that's true, and big helmet, big nice. You know what they say, big helmet. To get an area explored, you are going to need to start an exploration for it. That makes sense. You can only explore areas that are adjacent to an area you have already explored, and if it is an inland area, you can only explore it if it is adjacent to an area you own. So there will be no chopping through trees for forever just to get in the middle of something, I suppose. And I guess you will own something, an area you own. So if I'm not mistaken, did he say an area up here? Works entirely on areas. So an area you own, I assume you don't have to own all of it, so maybe just one location. If you own, you can now explore inland from here. And if it's an inland area, it has to be adjacent. Starting an exploration mission for an area costs a significant amount of gold. That makes sense. You gotta buy ships. You gotta get together a crew. But there is also additional cost to start a mission depending on whether it's a land area or sea area. For a land area, you need manpower. For sea area, you need sailors. That makes sense. You also have a constant upkeep of gold for your exploration mission, and during your explorations, you get events related to the exploration. That sounds like fun. Unless the events are highly repetitive and you always click the same option, in which case it's just madness. Actually, your brain just filters it out after a certain point. Missions always have the risk of failure, resetting all progress, and the characters involved can die. Womp womp womp. We love to see it. The administrative ability of the leader of the expedition reduces the upkeep cost, while the diplomatic ability impacts the success chance, and the military ability impacts how quickly the exploration can be done. So this is an interesting one where previously, or kind of the vibe I was getting when they were discussing characters before, was that certain characters would be better for certain tasks, but we see that the task of exploration specifically is going to require, or at least utilize, all your traits, so in theory you would want a well-balanced person, and so maybe well-balanced people are good for exploration. I imagine one of these things is way more important than the other, and it's not going to be the case that a well-balanced person is kind of what you want for exploration, but it'd be cool if some things you want specialists and some things you want balanced characters, and exploration's maybe an example of a task that you want a balanced character. Okay, so we have the administrative ability affecting cost, diplomatic ability giving the yearly failure chance of exploration, and I imagine the Diplo ability is going to be the more significant one. This seems like a really small reduction on cost, and I imagine the I'm wondering if the cost, this reduction in cost, doesn't seem such that it is worth losing an advisor slot just to get that additional cheapness, and instead you just want to make sure that it's successful. The monthly progress, I mean, this is going to be a math equation as well. If you reduce the number of months or total years that you are kind of out on an expedition, and obviously we don't have the math, so we can't put it in a spreadsheet or anything, but if you reduce by 12 months the number of months required to do the exploring, then you're probably in a really loud car outside, because that's how you go really fast and explore quickly. You're going to have less years where you are going to be rolling a fail chance, and so if you're rolling less fail chances, then it's kind of the same thing as yearly failure chance reduction. So maybe military ability is actually going to be the most useful after just kind of thinking through it a little bit. Incompetent at a lot of life, the truth hurts. All right, I think we're done reading this dev diary. Shots fired, bang, bang. No, just kidding. Matthias, thank God it's not us. Redeeming quality was that he failed fast. Yeah, talk to my girlfriend. All right. While the most characters in the game can be assigned to explore an area, there are some characters that are far superior. Big nice. These are explorers, which, besides being innately better at exploring, they also have different unique traits, making them better or worse at certain aspects of exploring. Okay, so this is cute or interesting for a few reasons, which is that, okay, we have unique character types, which I don't think that they've discussed before, and we can get the character types of explorers, but, well, most characters, there are some characters that are far superior. These are explorers. Unique traits. I'm wondering if we can discern whether or not we're going to get a bunch of unique characters spawning in. So, like, will we see Christopher Columbus as a character that you could recruit and use, and he will be better at sea exploration, let's say? And I don't think that this is really giving us too much. I read unique, and my brain just went feral, and I was thinking, oh, we get unique characters, but this is just unique traits. We might not have unique characters, but it'd be really cool if Christopher Columbus was a character, Leonardo da Vinci was a character. If there's a whole slew of characters that you can end up utilizing, I think that would add a lot to the game and make the game a lot of fun. But I don't see anything in here that is really leaning us in that direction. A little bit of an aside. While there are some explorers that can join certain countries through historical events, there's also the possibility to recruit a new explorer. Okay, wait, just I should have read the next sentence while I was talking. Historical events. And so maybe this is where we get Christopher Columbus. This requires the commission explorers in advance in the Age of Discovery. So that kind of brings us into last week's Dev Diary / Tinto Talk, where we talked about advances. I think that was last week. This is early in the advances tree for the New World Institution. Speaking of advances, let's talk about it. There are a few advances throughout the game that speed up explorations or make them less prone to failures. I think that speeding up is probably mathematically just going to seem to be better than making it... Well, I guess it depends on the math, but speed is... Well, if they balance it correctly, speed will not reduce failure faster than failure reduction, just like in principle, but we'll see. At the start of the game, at near range, exploration led by someone who is not an explorer may take a few years to complete, but as you get more advanced, this will be a shorter period. This will become shorter in time. The trade winds on the sea lanes also have significant impact on how quickly an area can be explored. We have designed the oceanic locations of Project Teaser to take into account the historical sea lanes that were used by ships and fleets during the Age of Sail, taking advantage of their knowledge of winds and sea currents. These lanes shaped the very explorations. These lanes shaped these seashells down by the seashore. These sea lanes shaped the way explorations were done, as their mastery was critical to the success or failure of an expedition. And so we do see route to the Indies, and also we see this in purple. Now, skimming through this before, we got that this is in purple because this is unique to certain countries. A purple advance is a unique one, and this one is unique to anyone in the Western subcontinent in the Age of Renaissance. So it's going to be easier for those in the Western subcontinent to explore as a result of having this unique tech. And so we see kind of examples, or at least our initial example, of what a unique tech looks like. We didn't get too much of that last week, but we see this, and it is for everyone on the subcontinent. And so, it's going to be worst if you are, trying to play as, for example, Morocco, right? Because they said Western Europe subcontinent. And so Morocco, for example, even though geographically isn't a good place for colonization, they're not going to have access to the yearly failure reduction chance from this advance. I almost said tech, but it's an advance. If you have built a spy network in another country, you can use it to steal some of their maps. Shout out to Nicolas Cage. As an exploration mission is finished, the knowledge of these discoveries will start spreading to other countries that have the capital on the same subcontinent as the explorer. Nicolas Cage didn't steal a map, he stole the Declaration of Independence, but that's, yeah. But currently, the map spread takes about 150 years. That seems like a lot, so that doesn't seem like a good strategy if you want to get in the colonization game. That seems like a long time to wait. But that does seem like, you'll discover it eventually. Stay tuned, we will. As next week, we will wish you happy Thursday for the 4th week in a row. I think this is week 3. Someone correct me if they're keeping track, but I believe we've gotten 3 happy Wednesdays in a row from the Tinto Talks team, which is absolutely fantastic. They have the current lead in the record for happy days in a row. Of course, should we even count Victoria 3? Because the Depp Diaries are gone until they get off vacation. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. There are links down below. This one has been pretty nice. We get the Tinto Talks. We get the Happy Wednesday. It's capitalized, as all holidays should be. And so, without further ado, I will wish you a happy Wednesday.